Hey, what is up? Tom Clark here, Director of Social Media for High Velocity Wrestling. I'll get it out. What's up, kids? How you doing? Good to see you. Happy Tuesday to you. I have a cat on my lap. It's real life. Can you hear? She decided it's time to sit on Daddy's lap. That's where she is. We'll see how long she decides to stay there. I lift her up and show you, but then she'll jump down and she might take a chunk of my leg with her. We don't want that. I have 3 cats. I know you all tuned in for cat stories. Are you ready? I'm just kidding. Anyway, they're the greatest. That's all I got. Uh, hope everybody's doing great. How's your week been so far? Man, I haven't slept in over 24 hours. But you know what? I got coffee. Okay. I got the bass guitars behind me. I got a cat on my lap. I got stuff and I got news. Man, have I got news. Remember how I told you cats last week that I couldn't tell you much? She's looking straight up at me. It's the cutest thing. You're missing it all. Remember how I told you cats last week that I couldn't give you much info? Well, guess what? We're back this week because I'm going to give you some info. Ha! See, I told you, man, we reward people. You know what I mean? We give payoffs here in HVW. That's what we do. We don't leave you hanging. We don't give an angle or whatever insider terms you want to throw at me tonight and leave you hanging, just dangle the carrot and pull it away. That's not what we do, baby. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And we deliver. I told you last week, you hang tight, I'm going to give you something. Well, guess what? Guess what, kids? This week, I'm giving you something. All right. But I'm not going to give it to you alone. Okay. Tonight, I'm joined by HVW owner promoter. Kids, please welcome Mr. Gary Benfield. Gary, what's up, dude?
What's up, Facebook world? How's everybody doing? What's up, Tom?
I'm good, man. How are you tonight?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Look, you see the news. My Broncos dropped today. Russell Wilson's coming to town, baby.
I did not know that.
Wow. I'm excited. We finally got a quarterback.
I didn't know. Dude, my kid doesn't know that either. I'm going to have to tell him about that because I guarantee he doesn't know. He was a Seahawks fan for the longest time, but only because of Wilson. That's the only reason he cared about that team.
Well, look, now he's going to be a Broncos fan.
Dude, my kid's so wishy-washy when it comes to sports. Like, he used to love Golden State. He was a Warriors fan, man. And now, he was a Steph Curry guy, and now he's not because he just changes as the wind blows. And I've tried to tell him, I said, kid, you need to pick a team and stay with him.
He's young, man. He'll find one.
Yeah, I guess he will. Well, kids, welcome to the show, as we said before. This is not a podcast. Everybody calm down. I didn't have some cool music to lead off with. The podcast is returning, so everybody just be patient about it. We'll get there, I promise you. But this is just what you can consider an update, okay? That's all we're doing here, kids. We're just providing updates. We're just letting you guys know what's up, what's going on, that kind of thing. So that's what we're about here tonight. Let's get a little bit of information flowing here, Gary, before we start dropping some stuff on the good people out there.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. Let's get the ticker ticking. There she is. She said, "Pretty, I can't stand it." And yes, this is your March 8th arrival update. So we're glad to bring it to you. We know we got some folks in the chat telling us hello. Some stars from HVW. We appreciate you guys and girls hanging out with us. Everyone sit tight. We're going to get to everybody in just a scoosh. But in the meantime, I don't want to drop anything if I got the man here. So I'm going to let the man talk. Gary, we've got a theme for June 18th for Arrival. Tell the kids out there listening and watching, and who may listen and watch after the fact, what's the theme for this show?
All right, Tom. So, man, I was thinking, what are we going to do? We're coming to Marion. But what a lot of people don't realize is the very first HVW live show ever was in Marion, North Carolina in 2001 at the Marion Rec Center. We had a big cage match. I think we probably had 250, 300 people in the gym back then. And that wasn't bad, considering that was our very first show ever. So when I start thinking about coming back to McDowell County and Marion being our home, I got to thinking, what can we do? I don't want to bring in a bunch of big name superstars and the crowd here expect that. So I want to give the crowd here what they're going to see on a bi-monthly basis. So I thought, how can we start this thing off hot? So here we go, Tom. So it's going to be High Velocity Wrestling presents Arrival, Past, Present, Future. We will have matches representing HVW's past. We will have matches representing the current state of HVW. And we will have matches that represents the future of HVW and where we're headed. So I'm pretty stoked about it. We've got some great stuff lined up. And, you know, some of the HVW, one of the matches that'll represent the HVW's past are two guys that have went on from HVW to bigger and better things. And, you know, I'm super jacked about what's going to happen on this show.
I'm with you. I'm right back in the same boat I was in last week when I just want to tell people, but we're not ready for that, kids. We're not ready for that. But everybody stay tuned and be patient. This is especially cool for me because I worked. I was working your first show, and I was not Tom that night. I was Bishop. Wearing the leather jacket.
Yes, sir.
I don't think I had the shaved head at that time, but I had the leather jacket and the black. And funny enough, I still dress that way. Nothing's changed.
You got a little hair now, though.
I got a little hair, and I'm not as heavy, so that's good. But, yeah, because I worked with Matt Truck, who was I don't know what anyone else's experience is with Truck, but I enjoyed the guy. He was fun to be around. And I wasn't around him long, but, man, he just seemed like a cool guy. So,
dude, me and Truck traveled all over the place as a tag team for years, man.
That's right. What was the tag team name? Was it EOD?
No, we didn't do the EOD. I can't even dang remember.
Oh, wow.
I can't even remember what we called.
My cat's making a guest appearance. There she is.
I don't look at it. That's all right.
I know, right? Yeah. It was a fun night, man, and I was so proud of you, which is a weird thing to say because at that time we were both much younger men, but I was really proud of you, man, because and if we can just take a quick history lesson, kids, and please bear with me, and I'll make it brief. Back in the day, Gary and I started in the same promotion together in a little town called Lenore.
Yep.
And if you drive through and you blink, you'll miss it. That's how small it is, okay? And we were part of the EOD. I was his first manager. And I did whatever I did. I wasn't exactly doing anything groundbreaking. I was doing some ramped-up Paul Heyman stuff, nowhere near as good as Paul Heyman, but I had fun. And the guys in the EOD were very gracious and allowed me to do things. And the promoter was gracious. And I got to do things with him and got to hang out with Gary and the guys. And it was freaking awesome.
Loved it. Great years. Great years.
It was so much fun. We still got to do a UWA podcast one of these days.
Absolutely, we do.
But, man, it was so much fun. And, you know, Gary, I don't think you'll shrink away from this conversation in particular. But back in Gary's younger days, he was a bit of a rebel. We called him a rebel, a renegade. I think I called him the Dennis Rodman of the EOD because he was valuable, and, man, he brought it every time. But, buddy, that fiery temper and that rebelliousness, which is extremely good in certain doses. But, dude, you were a lot younger. You were still learning the ropes. You were still learning your way. And then to see that guy, and then not even 2 years after UWA folded, maybe not even 2 years, whatever it was, dude, just in that short span of time with the first HVW show, I'm like, this is a different guy. What happened? Like, dude, you were totally different. I mean, it was insane to see how much you changed, dude. So, I mean, I was proud of you then. And, you know, it's just, yeah, the things that we've seen you do since then, it's really cool. So this event's got to mean a lot to you personally, especially.
It does, Tom. And I appreciate the words, dude. I really do. It's been an honor to have you along. You know, even though you wasn't a part of HVW full time in Hendersonville, you know, you were always there at our big events and, you know, anything we filmed, you were always a part of. And now that me and you can still work together after all these years, it's exciting. And I can't wait till June the 18th.
I'm nothing if not an attention junkie. I see how that worked out. As soon as the cameras were on, Tom's back. Hey, can I be on camera? It's not like that. But,
It's all good.
Yeah, man, I'm excited, dude. I'm pumped up. I've told you many times behind the scenes that the most fun part about this is, as we call it in the biz, booking the card and putting things together, and I just have so much fun. Let's say a few hellos before we go any farther here. Gauzy's in the house. We've got some HVW tried and trues here. Mr. John Matthews, a long time,
fellas?
Yeah, man, a long time viewer of the main event. Russell Air Jackson. What's up, Air? Thank you for hanging out tonight, my friend, and giving us a few minutes of your time. John Maxwell in the house. Nathan Sumner. Excuse me, I didn't mean to get your name wrong. Josh Cash. What's up, my friend? How are you? The Superior Jake Jacobs in the house. Everybody's please say hello to Ron Emerson. Ron, thank you for hanging out. Ryan Baldwin, how are you doing, man? Good to see you. Oh, we're going to drop some hints. We're going to do better than that.
That's part of the front row. The front row crew right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would be remiss if I let this man out. The HVW champion, Crucifix.
What's up?
I don't want to get too weird, and I don't want to be all like that, but Chris, brother, as a professional, you got to stop blowing up my messenger, dude, on my phone. I got to get sleep eventually. I mean, Chris wants to know what's he doing on the 18th. And it's still in flux. It's still a work in progress, but he's not exactly happy with the powers that be in this company. So when the cards reveal, please don't shoot the messenger, Chris. You know I got mad respect for you. I'm just following the boss's lead, and right now we're not revealing anything. So anyway.
In due time, my brother, in due time. But I will say this.
Uh-oh.
You know your opponent very well. Just think about HVW past.
That may or may not narrow it down. I don't know if it does or not.
Let me say, can I drop one more little hint, Tom?
Brother, it's your show, my friend. Go with it.
You know both of your opponents very well.
Oh, took the cat right out the bag. You know what I mean?
That's all I'm going to say right now.
Oh, that's good stuff. Sugar Shane Odom, another loyal main event audience member. What's up, my friend? What changes can we – oh, dude, you're going to get hit with questions, Gary. What changes can we expect at Arrival? Tom, are you still going to be calling the matches, and will you be by yourself? God, Shane kills it with the questions. These are awesome. Gary, you take the first part of this. What changes can fans expect at the show on the 18th?
Well, a brand new venue, of course. Mm-hmm. Most importantly, you're going to see a new booking style of HVW. I'm going to be trying some new things out that we're not going to reveal right now. You're going to see a new set, a much more travel-friendly set, but it's still very nice. I can't wait to debut it. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, man. I've had sneak peeks of it and it looks awesome. Yes, Shane, I am calling the show, and I may not be at the table alone. We're having discussions with somebody who I would think most people would never envision us working together. But the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, no matter what anyone says about personal problems or heat, there's another insider term that the kids love to throw around. No matter what any of that kind of stuff is talked about or bandied about any given day, we're all really, we're just really big fans at heart, and we all want to see this company prosper. Even the guys that you may not believe that they want that for HVW, the person I'm talking about in particular, yeah, he actually kind of really does. So I think there's going to be some hatchets being buried, and you might be shocked at people you see paired up. That's all I'll say about that. That's still being talked about. Nothing's set in stone. But I'm professional. I'd have no reason to hold a grudge. Life's too short, man. You know what I mean? We're all here for a very short amount of time. Jeff Naylor, what's up, my friend? Jeff says it's by the grace of God that Gary is still working after his motorcycle accident. Have we lost Gary? Are we still good? Is everybody still here? I think we are we still live? Can you guys still hear me? I don't know. Gary, if you can hear me, my friend, you have frozen up. You may want to exit and come back in. I can barely hear you. Well, you know what? The show must go on, kids. So, Jeff, to your point, man, one night we're hanging out in 2019, and Gary decides that he's going to show me a photo of the injury from the motorcycle accident, and I wasn't prepared. And he's got his phone. He goes, dude, look. And he went like that. And I'm like, I don't do well with gore. I don't do well with artificial gore from a horror movie. And I sure don't do well with real gore from a true injury. So I immediately turned my head. I may have thrown up a little in my mouth. And I said, for God's sake, never show me that again. It was frightening. Horrifying's more like it. So there you go. Yeah, I know all about it. Let's see. That's the message of the show. Well, Gary's out. Time to call me. Your number has been called, Ghazi. Coming off the bench. At guard. Yeah. So anyway, man, hey, listen, it's all good with me, baby. I've done a solo show for years and years and years. So we will roll with the punches, and hopefully we'll get Gary back up and running here very, very soon. So everybody just hang tight with us, and we'll, as soon as he gets back up, we'll throw him back on the screen. So the past, present, and future idea for HVW Arrival, I'm all about it. I love it, actually. It's really grown on me. You got to think about it this way, kids. Our home was in Hendersonville / Asheville / Fletcher for the longest time. Okay. And, you know, things change. Things happen. Life happens, kids. You know what I mean? So with that being the case, HVW moved on. We're in a new venue. We're in a new town for us anyway. But it definitely, as Gary said earlier, it definitely has a callback to the very first HVW event. So it just makes sense for past, present, and future. And I think we've got Mr. Benfield back. There he is.
Dude, I don't know what happened. I lost my internet connection for a second.
The crowd just assumed that you didn't like us anymore, and you just decided to skip out.
Nah. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Guys, I got to show you this because it was the message of the night. That right there is the message of the night. That's great stuff. If that doesn't make you laugh, nothing will.
Well, Gary's out. Time to call me. Oh yeah. Dude, this kid, I'm so proud of this kid, man. He's doing everything he's supposed to do. As a young rookie, he's getting out there. He's getting his name out there. I'm proud to say that he came from the High Velocity Pro Wrestling Academy.
Mm-hmm. He's I was going to say he's a nice young man, and that sounds hokey. He's a good kid, and I'm going to call him a kid because I'm much older than he is. But I mean no disrespect by that. Josh mentioning the building next to Wendy's. Josh, I think calling it a building is giving it way too much credit.
Yes, sir, brother. That was a shack, and that's what I've always called it, was a shack.
Yeah. I remember the first night we were there with you, and I looked around for whatever it was that was being called a dressing room, and I'm like, is that grass? Dude, there's holes back there. Someone's going to fall through. It was the craziest thing ever.
Dude, oh, my God. Tom, the first day we set the ring up in that building and got up in the ring and started. I had to go. I don't know if anybody knows this. I went up under the crawl space of the ring, and there were jacks under each pole of the ring to keep the floor from going in.
Dude, how did fire marshal or some kind of inspector, how come, wonder why no one ever just, poked their head in there, look around? Did it ever happen at all? I guess it didn't.
Well, that's how it got shut down, was one night, actually loaded guns, Ken Magnum, throwed some water on a guy in the crowd. And he came through the crowd after Ken and plowed this lady's kid over, and she called 911. And when the cop came, they called the fire marshal. The fire marshal shut the doors and padlocked it that night. I went back at 4 a.m. and cut the lock off and got all my stuff out of the building.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to laugh, but I just imagined a grown man fire marshal and the getup and everything walking in going, oh my God, shut it down.
It was insane.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not funny, but it's kind of funny because yeah,
Oh.
it was treacherous. That little place was.
That
for
thing
sure.
was crazy, man. We
But
had
yeah,
fun
man.
though.
Oh, dude, there's something about an up close and personal crowd, an intimate setting, a smaller venue. And you know what we've got coming up on the 18th is not small by any means. This thing,
No, sir.
there's quite a lot of room. And folks, that's not to say this is the only place we're ever going to do business. I mean, we always keep our options open, and you know, if there's opportunities to run smaller venues and take the show in other places, well, that's definitely up for discussion. And it's in future plans. Not to give anything away, kids. We can't reveal, or we're choosing not to reveal a whole lot tonight there, Gary. But as I said last week, we know for sure of 3 individuals who are definitely going to be there on June 18th. So let's go over that right now. Tell the folks about the 2 sets of champions we have here.
Well, of course, we got the Greek Wolverine Crucifix. You know, he's going to be on the card defending the HVW Championship. We're going to have the New Age Villains defending the HVW Tag Team titles. You know, I have kind of given Tom the reins to the HVW Women's division. So, you know, I know he's got a little news he's going to drop eventually for you guys. So I don't know if you want to do that tonight or you want to wait or.
I like to wait. We'll just tease them. Maybe we'll do that next week.
Yes, sir. Cool.
Yeah, we introduced the women's division at Resurrected in 2020. It was awesome. I feel like within the span of just 3 events, we grew that thing by leaps and bounds. And by the time the 3rd event rolled around, I mean they were the main event. I mean that's huge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So yeah, I'm very proud of the ladies that we've had wrestle for us in the past, and I would love at some point to be able to say that, you know, we're going to see familiar faces coming back. But, you know, without dropping any major bombshells tonight, kids, the women's division is being sort of revamped. We're taking
flipped and turned upside down.
Well, yeah. I was trying to be mild about it, but you're 100% right. and it's not because we didn't have issues. I don't want anybody to misunderstand. We had no issues. It's just that within the span of just what's it been, 2.5, 3 years, there's so many more talented women out there. It's insane. Like the women's wrestling is growing by leaps and bounds, even more than it was in 2019. We want to take advantage of that. We want to get some of those ladies working for us in HVW.
Absolutely, we do.
So yeah, that's
it's a new future. What's Jeff Naylor talking about?
Let's see. Do not do another travel show in the snow like the Burnsville show. That's a story, I'm sure.
Oh, brother, we went up there. I had Gunner in the main event that night, and there was probably 6-8 inches of snow on the ground, and it was pouring snow and ice, and we put about 500 people in that Burnsville gym.
Wow.
Yeah. But it was a mess coming home from Burnsville to Hendersonville.
I'm sure. We've all driven through incredibly bad weather we did not want to drive through. So that's the curse of living in this state, because we have 84 degrees on a Tuesday. By that Thursday, it's snowing, and by the next Monday, it's a flash flood warning. So That's how we roll here. If you live here any period of time, you know how it goes.
That's how we do it.
Dude, and kids, we still got time. It's not like June 18th is next week, but the weeks tend to fly by when you're planning and building and doing a lot of work behind the scenes. I'm excited for this, man. I'm anxious to get this thing off the ground and get us rolling again. We had so much fun at the first 3 events, and I want that to continue. I want Marion to be, I want it to not only become the new home of HVW, but, you know, again, folks, without revealing too much, we're looking at a lot of different opportunities in a lot of different places. But Marion is the jumping off point. And so far we've had nothing but good experiences. We hope that everything goes great on the 18th. We have every reason to believe it will. Dude, you haven't been here to do this, and I've ranted about it a little bit here and there. Tell everyone about the venue, dude. I got to let you brag on this place.
So this building at one time, from what I'm hearing, was an old box factory. They must have manufactured cardboard boxes. Well, the building sat for years, and a developer came in, bought the building, and he has went in and divided this building up, and there's like 30 different businesses in there. There's a skate rink in there. There's several restaurants. There's a boxing academy, hair salons. There's a comic book store going to be doing a Comic-Con in our venue on April 2nd. I think that's the date.
Yeah.
That we're going to be a part of. Actually, we're going to do a vendor table there and hand out some stuff to the people at Comic-Con. So I'm excited about this venue, man. I really am. It's and I'm just excited about being in Marion. The town has been super receptive to us. Everybody I've talked to, down to the city officials. So look, there's going to be some things happening with HVW in Marion.
Yeah, you're right. 100% right. Very, very receptive, very open. It's almost like it's every promoter's dream. Maybe not, I shouldn't say dream. It could be a double-edged sword for reasons I won't go into. But for the most part, I would think it's every promoter's dream to walk into a small town and have that small town go, hey, we'd love to have some wrestling. None of it's here. It's wide open. I mean, it's scary on one hand because you think, if there's no wrestling here, does that mean that there's a crowd here? But you know what? You roll the dice and you say, hey, we'll make them want to come. We're going to give them something they haven't seen maybe ever in this town. I think that we're going to do that on the 18th for sure.
Well, I mean, I know there's been wrestling here in Marion since HVW in 2001, and I'm not going to trash talk anybody or even mention any of that. But what we're going to bring to the table in June will be a whole lot different than what the people in Marion's ever seen before.
There is
you
one
got another
company.
Friend back there, Tom.
Yeah, Wicked's made an appearance. The dog's here.
I love it.
This is Tom Carr's Animal Kingdom, everybody. There is one company we can mention that's run Marion in the time that in between. Because I know you've been in contact with this man. We both go way back with him to the days of UWA. And we've got nothing but great things to say about him. So we can give him a shout out for sure if you'd like to.
Yeah. JW Wright. I think JW Wright and you guys probably know him as Earl Grimmett, but we know him as Tom Pelusak.
Yeah.
Those guys, they ran some shows here in Marion and did all right. That I think I wrestled on a couple of those shows, actually.
You did, because we were there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Tom Miller. Tom's a good guy, man. He was one of those guys in the old UWA that, and believe it or not, kids, in a really small town in the South where you wouldn't think this kind of thing would matter. Big old bald Tom with the leather jacket, calling himself Bishop, rolls in the locker room and gets moved up fairly quickly behind the scenes. And some people in that little locker room had a major problem with that. Tom was not one of them. He was cool to me from day one, never gave me grief, didn't look down his nose at me, and he very well could have. So I don't forget stuff like that. You know what I mean? And those that did look at me funny, I don't harbor grudges, because if I'm in their shoes, I might would have looked at me funny too. I totally get it. You know?
Absolutely. I mean, I've been in contact with Tom since we've decided to do shows here in Marion. I kind of want to do something a little different backstage, and I've asked Tom to be a part of that. So, so we'll see what happens. Dude, I'm excited. I'm excited about what's going to happen here and for the future of HVW.
For sure. It's going to be a blast. I mean, there's a lot of room to grow. I've always believed we've got a solid foundation. The stop and start stuff that keeps happening with us, 95% of it's kind of been out of our hands. It's life and it's the world around us.
Dude, we couldn't help COVID at all. And then, no excuses, but, it's all been me, life changes and things that's happened with my life. And, it's taken me a while to recover and get my head right. I've got a great support system behind me. Crystal Barker is the most amazing woman I've ever known. And, man, she supports me and she believes in me. And, Chad Jones, the owner of Heroes, the Legends, we've been doing some business with him, and I've talked with Chad a lot behind the scenes, and he's helped me a lot as well, man. Helped me just look at things differently than I looked at it before. And I give Chad credit for that. And I'm proud to see the man he's become, from the man I knew who he was years ago to who he is now.
Absolutely.
And, but dude, there are Tom, when I started before COVID ever hit, and I started the academy back up, and you know, JD showed up, and Ghazi showed up, and had a couple other young guys show up, and then when the COVID hit and I moved the ring to my house, and then John Matthews started training with me, and Cutter started training with me. I don't know, man. These kids became my family, dude. They helped me through a very tough period. And I feel like I owe them something. And I want to give these kids a stage like they'll never be on the indie circuit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And I want to treat them right and teach them the right way.
I mean, and we always talk about earning your stripes. My little story about myself earlier, you know, a lot of the times that the people look sideways at you in this business, as we call it, is because you maybe haven't earned your stripes. You haven't done enough. You haven't done the work. It's real easy to take kids who are still learning and say, well, they shouldn't have this and shouldn't have that. And I totally get it. And I'm sure they get it too. And Gary, you're old school like I am. You know how that rolls. But at some point, the future is coming fast. And it's not that you're trying to shove them in front of veterans. That's not the goal. But the goal is, how are they going to learn if they don't get out there and wrestle? How are they going to get any better?
Absolutely, man. I mean, one thing I can remember being told when I first broke into the business, and, you know, I showed Crystal a picture of Lewis. He posted a picture on Facebook yesterday, and I showed Crystal his picture, and I said, you know, this is the guy that started training me when I first broke into business. And I can remember he told me this like the second training session. He said, Gary, when the time comes and you start performing and you get in the ring, he said, you always want to push yourself to be in the ring with somebody better than you. That's how you get better. And I've remembered that, and I've pushed this in these kids' heads, and they go wrestle these shows where they're not doing that. So, you know, I'm trying to give them, I'm trying to be a little different, give them an opportunity to get in the ring with talent that they're not on a different level, that they're not working on the shows that they're working on. And I just want to take them to that next level, you know?
And, you know, as we've always said behind the curtain many times, we can't control anybody else. The only thing we can do is try to offer the best product we possibly can, which I feel like we do. Chad must have heard you talking about him because he showed up. Chad, how are you, my friend?
What's up, my friend?
So there you go. We had a comment. Go ahead.
I think that Joker's like he's somewhere on an oil rig out Midwest somewhere.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah.
I did a main event a few weeks ago and had just mentioned Brian Clark's name, and next thing you know, he popped up. So I was like, Brian, are you trolling my feed? What's going on, man? It was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Let's see. I put this Chad's comment up, the White Claw Outlaws. And I'm going to tell you something about these two guys, Chad Bartlett and AC Reddick. They didn't make a lot of friends last time they were in HVW. They didn't really care for the fans. They didn't really care for us, if I'm being honest. They weren't too nice to me. But, dude, I think things may be coming back around. These two guys have been a lot more receptive. I don't know if I don't want to call it maturity. I don't want to talk down to anybody. But it kind of feels like that they're turning a corner, and the professionalism is really coming through. And honestly, you know, I don't want to give anything away, right? But there's a certain tag team they had issues with that there might be some fireworks on the 18th.
Well, hey, look, you know, Tom, you know, I don't want to drop nothing. I don't want to give any hint yet, but you know, the Outlaws are affiliated with another federation here in the Carolinas that HVW is working with, doing some business with. And you know, there's a little heat there because I didn't book them So I don't know what's going to happen. We shall see. But hey, guys, you're welcome. We're June 18th, Marion, North Carolina. You know where we're at. I think the NAV, they might welcome you in too. So come on.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I would say to anyone who looks at the White Claw Outlaws and think that they may be time to crack jokes. Don't sleep on these two guys. They are so much better than anyone ever gives them credit for. And you know this stuff not because you sit behind a laptop and advertise promos and go live on Facebook, but because you're sitting near the ring and you're calling the action. And brother, I'm telling you, and Gary, you know, these two guys are so much better than anybody gives them credit for. You know what I mean?
I've watched a lot of video of these guys, and you know, there's people just need to go look them up. I mean, watch them. They are they could probably go toe to toe with NAV if they really tried, but you know, I don't know if they'd be too successful.
Stay tuned, kids. You never know what could happen. Chad answered your follow-up question. He's actually in Wyoming on an oil rig. Be home next week.
Oh, that's awesome.
There you go. Hey, Chad, stay safe out there, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Well, kids, we're not going to take up a whole lot more of your time. We've gone about 45 minutes here. We just wanted to give you a quick little something. Wanted to reveal the theme of the show. Yes,
Tom,
sir.
It looks like Cutter's been hanging with us too. He said, "Hey," a little earlier. What's up, Cutter? How you doing, brother?
I didn't mean to leave him out of here.
No, it's all good. This young man's going to be. He's got a bright future ahead of him, man. Any promoters out there that's looking to bring in some young talent, you know, give this kid a chance because HVW's going to. We're gonna spotlight him.
For sure. You put in the work. If you put in the work, you should get the stage. That's how I feel.
Absolutely. John Matthews, the same way. Ghazi, get them all. Jerk them up and book them, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm anxious to see what happens. Some of the things you and I have been talking about off mic, behind the scenes, have been exciting.
Let me say bye to David Gurley right quick. Hey, Dave, thanks for joining us, brother. And no, Viper's not lacing them up. Not yet, anyway. I gotta breathe, be able to breathe before I can wrestle.
Breathing is important. I mean, if you
sir.
can't breathe, you know what I mean? There's such a thing as called getting gassed. So there you go. Can't get gassed, can't get blown up. So let's see. Scott Lars from hashtag Truth Podcast. I'll get it. Scott, how are you doing, my friend? Hope all is well. Scott, are you recovering? Dude, I see you all over the Facebook now. It seems like you're in good shape, man. Good for you, dude.
Hey, Scott, let's talk. Maybe you can shoot a live hashtag Truth from our event that night.
Oh, dude, that would be fun, huh? I'd be down for that. Yeah, cool. Yeah, let's hook that up, Scott. Quit talking about you going to come see HVW and just come see us. What are you waiting on?
Absolutely,
man. Well, I mean, you know, we're inviting guys. Listen, we're nice. We'll be sure to hang on to a ticket and sell it to you when you get there. We'll hook you up, man. I'm just kidding. So it's all good. Yeah.
What David Gurley talking about plucking the chicken feathers?
I have no idea.
David Gurley is one of my brothers in the Sons.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, sir. That's awesome.
Scott says hashtag will be there. Oh, well, there you go. There's a little something else we can drop tonight. Well, there you go. There's a tidbit.
Let's work that out.
That's right. Scott will be there. Gary will be there. I'll be there. The dog will be there. I'm just kidding. The dog won't be there. So he'd love it, though.
And stay tuned to find out who else will be there.
Oh, man. I want to tell him right now, and I'm not going to. There's so many names. I'm telling you right now. Familiar faces, faces that got their start here, and new faces you've never seen in an HVW ring.
Past, present, future.
There you go. See, it's right there in front of you. Everybody just read it. We got smart fans. Read the thing. I'm just saying. Kids, we're going to get out of here. Everybody enjoy the rest of your night. We appreciate you. Please, as Gary said, stay tuned to HVW social media. Yours truly will be back with updates. You can be guaranteed of one thing: as we get closer and closer and closer to June 18th, things are really going to be kicking up. So everybody, please, again, as I said, stay tuned. Keep checking on our social media. We're going to post updates as we get them, as we choose to reveal them. And I'm telling you, you're in for a great night of action. Anything you want to leave them with before we get out of here, Gary?
Man, just stay safe, everybody. Take care of one another. Let's our world's crazy. Let's take care of each other. God bless you all.
Absolutely. Kids, that's it for us. We'll see you next time. As Gary said, everybody be safe. Have a great night. Stay tuned. All right. We'll see you soon.